shout out to Solicitous for coming in second place, Kayo, Percival in fourth, and Roxas towards the end there. But alas, with that, we do have now a boosted prize pool or prize money for Classic, regardless of whether he goes first or second. We'll have a little bit of extra prize money added to his earnings. But here we go. Here we go. We're jumping into the grand finals here again. We have our best of 5 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline. We have the South Korean Terran player, sorry, the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner. Top right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself, representing Protoss Pro. It is Classic. Let's go. Let us go. I see in the chat. So does herO have a mass void ray build I can steal? No. Mass void ray is a thing of the past. I say that. There was a void ray build that we saw recently. I think it was in ZVP, but it wasn't mass void ray. I think we saw like maybe it was like a void ray opener into like 2 to 3 void rays, but then you just switch into Sky Toss. Or you can switch into Sky Toss, or you can switch into like charge, but you don't go mass void ray. You make like a handful, like 2 to 3 void rays as like a core, like part of your army, and then you can go into into charge or into Tempest. But it's a very niche build. It's very, very niche, and I think we saw that like maybe last month at a herO. But very niche, not safe for ladder, so be careful. As some shenanigans at a Classic going for the pylon hidden here on the right hand side. Classic going for a fake proxy. So fake proxy here by Classic, trying to force an overreaction at a herO across the map, but going for his own standard opener so far. Second pylon in the main. Second pylon is in the main. Did I open predictions? Oh, okay, my apologies. If you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamma time. It is Gamma time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. So I was a little bit distracted by the game. True. herO taking the mantle of Shield of Ire recently. True. I mean, for the most part, true. Like I think I would still say that it's a little bit different. I think in general, I would say that Classic is a little bit more of a defensive macro player than herO, but at the same time, specifically in PvZ, herO has been doing a great job at being that defending player, like specifically in that matchup. I would say in the other matchups, like herO, he's like the spear of Adun, you know. He's less of a shield and more of a spear. In PvP and in PvT. In PvZ, like herO can do both. That's he can be the shield, he can be the spear, he can do it all back. It's crazy. There we go. Here we go. Initially, we'd have herO going for his own expansion. It is going to be later than Classic. So because of the fake out, Classic does have a greedier build. Classic does have a stronger economy. Classic even catching at the Adepts. Nice pick off. Yeah, nice pick up here out of Classic. At the same time, we do have herO back at home going for the earlier Robo. As I mentioned, this was in response to a proxy that doesn't exist. So herO does have an inefficient start. The Prism is spotted, and Classic is getting ready back at home. So far, Classic has the advantage. Right now, the pressure's on herO to find some damage in the main. Warping in a Sentry, okay. We got a force field. Adept Shades in. herO pushing forward. Can he force over the ramp? Oh, not quite. There we go. Loads up that Sentry. Header for the ramp. Oh, doesn't get in. Yeah, it does not get in. Gets zoned away. Classic is all over herO. He's all over him. Oh, the force field's a little bit lackluster. He does catch one Sentry. One Sentry goes down, but that did cost herO 3 force fields. herO keeps working in. Remember, Classic has a better economy, has more probes. herO has to do more damage. The pressure is still on herO. Let's herO Shades in. Shades in. Does pick off one Stalker, two Stalkers, but the Prism is getting low. Prism is zoned away, and Classic, he wants that Prism. Oh my god. Alas barely does get out. Nice movement there by herO. Catching out those Stalkers, pulling away. At the same time, Edufse did shade into the mineral line, 4 probe kills. So herO killing 4 Stalkers, 4 probes, and a pylon. Very nice damage. We spoke about it. There was a lot of pressure on herO to get some damage done, to be efficient, and he has been. But no shot. He wants the Immortal. He wants the Immortal. He gets it. The Immortal goes down. Oh my god. And Classic's being pulled apart. He's just falling apart here. Losing the Immortal as well. herO can just fight head on. The boys are being pulled. Classic getting desperate. He pulls the boys. The juggling is there. The micro, the control, force field. GG gets called, and herO, he breaks the natural. He takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. A very intense game there. herO, he was in a rough position. He was forced into an early robo. He was forced into a delayed expansion. herO, he had to get damage done, and he did outposition. He did barely outposition Classic, dropping into the main base, shading into the natural mineral line, and of course, catching at that final Immortal was the nail in the coffin. That was a brutal loss there for Classic. It meant that he could not keep up, could not defend. GG. GG, well played. A very intense game 1 here, which herO did bring back. Now we're loading into game number 2. Let's go. We're loading into game 2. And again, we do expect this PvP to be high intense, to be high intensity PvP. They don't really want to slow things down and build up into a macro game. We expect proxies, cheese, fake all-ins, real all-ins, 1 base play, 2 base play. It'll be rare to see a third. We might see one, but I would say that'll be a rare sight to see a 3rd expansion in this series. but we'll see, we'll see. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss player himself representing Virtus Pro. It is a Classic. See Bartholomew in the chat. Everyone knows that herO's pushing 1 base, so why Classic is going for expand. As a reminder, if you missed it in the last game, herO did expand, herO did take a natural, and herO was probing. So herO was not 1 base all in, he was 2 base. He was playing 2 base. Just as a heads up. And likewise, Classic, for the most part, was keeping up until he wasn't, right? Like Classic, he barely didn't defend against herO's aggression, which was off of 2 base play. Bearing in mind, the reason why herO went for the early robo is because herO faked him out with the pylon proxied on the map. Remember, Classic went for a fake proxy pylon. So there were a lot of layers. There were a lot of layers to that game. It was Classic faking a 1 base all in, herO responding with a defensive robo, then forced to go for a late expansion, then forced to be aggressive. There was a lot of layers. But here we go. For now, we are going to be opening up. Once again, Classic going for the fake pylon. Once again, trying to go for the overreaction. So if you weren't here for the beginning of last game, it's the same start, with Classic going for the pylon on his side of the map at the 3rd, and he's trying to force an overreaction out of herO. And it worked last game. It did work. Classic took an economic lead, but he was still barely torn apart. herO, meanwhile, knows. He knows there's a pylon missing. He knows something is wrong. He's aware that a pylon is somewhere else on the map. Classic going for a Stalker Sentry opener. Very safe. herO going double adept. And herO does go for the Stargate on 1 expansion. So herO, he's going to have a delayed expansion. Meanwhile, Classic does get the Nexus, and herO confirms. So herO, he now knows he is behind economically, and unlike last game, he's stuck with a Stargate, not a Robo. With the Robo, herO had potential with the Prism Harass, with the Prism Micro, and with the Immortal reinforcements as well to kill Classic. Now stuck with the Stargate, this is good for harassing, but mainly only harassing. Oh, and Classic scouts. Classic, he does see the Stargate, he knows an Oracle is coming, and Classic should be ready for it. So far, compared to the last game, this is a better start for Classic. The pressure's on herO to get some economic damage. Once again, to be fair, just like last game, the pressure's on herO. Oh. Trying to turn the tables on the Stalker. We have a reactive Stargate out of Classic. So we can go for his own Phoenix. First Oracle's on the way. Remember, Classic is aware of this. herO shades into the middle line, gets 2 robes. Not bad. Considering he was about to lose one of the Adepts. Gets 2 workers, the Oracle moves in, the army's barely out of position, we get into the main. No shot, there's no battery. No shot, no battery, no nothing in position. Probe's gonna be going down. This should not have happened. Aye, Classic. He saw this coming. That's 8 probes going down. That is far too much. There's a recall, Oracle was saved. And then Classic, he had the information, he had the tools to defend, but being dragged out of position here by the Adepts, that was brutal, right? The army should have been in the main. Should have been in the main base. Classic, as he tries to move out, more Oracles are moving in. Classic, he has lost his lead, losing another probe. There's still nothing in the main. Like this, no shot. Losing another 5 probes. Not like this. At least Classic does find the other Oracle. At least. But Classic is down 10 probes. And remember, because of Classic's build, he should have been up in workers. So he has lost that economic edge. That means Classic, he's behind tech-wise. Blink is on the way for herO. And things are looking rough for Classic. Oof. As Classic, he has to commit. Losing one of the Phoenixes. There is a battery. Yeah, battery's in position. herO will hold. herO's going to be able to hold on. He does trade with the army here, just picking up some Stalkers, pulling away. herO does barely get back to the battery. And Classic needs more damage. He's still down by 10 workers. And remember, that's going to be a big power spike with Blink. Blink is halfway done. Ooh, the Oracle gets in. Okay. Nice damage here by Classic. Gets into the main base. Nothing to defend. herO cool with his pants down. The pants are down for everyone. 9 for Jesus. 9 probe kills. herO who was blindsided. And Classic takes a worker lead. Now, he does take a lead economically here when it comes to the worker count, but herO has had more mining for a longer period of time, so that he still has that edge, and he's going for the proxy. Oh boy, how many gateways? We have 4 in the main. Sorry, we have 4 in the main, 1 at the natural, 1 across the map. It's going to be a 2 base, 6 gate all in. No expansion. So here he's committing. The attempted third base is seen, but remember, there's no third in sight. Instead, we have the proxy, we have the all-in. And Classic does not know. Classic setting up for his own expansion. Oh. Does cancel. Falling back to his natural. What did he see? He saw some of the Stalkers, that is true. But he does feel something as well. The all-in is coming. If Classic was taking his third base right now, he would just die. Like, he'd just be spread thin. Oh, dives on the army. Yeah, going for the Immortal. He gets 1 volley up, gets 2, gets 3. Yeah, 3 volleys for the Immortal to tank a lot of shots. Another Immortal arrives, and herO's getting punished. Yeah, massive punish for herO. As Classic shuts him down. The Immortal just tanks so much, and herO, remember, he has no expansion. herO's gonna keep going. One's gonna need 3 shots. Oh god. It takes so long to bring them down. And now we have another Immortal. Yeah, Classic, he defends. He defends, he completely shuts us down. The Immortals, they pop out just in time. And herO now forced to take his third base, but a very late third. Remember, he lost his edge. Now, I say late third base, it is late, to be fair, but it is faster than his opponent. What is scary, though, is the Immortal count. The Immortal count is slowly getting higher and higher. Classic is building up a greater army. He does need his own expansion, though. As Classic pulls away. Oh, going into Glaives, I see. He's committed. So Glaive Adepts, for those who are curious, is viable in PvP, but it typically isn't very, it's not very, it doesn't have a lot of longevity, I should say. It's very committed, very aggressive. It doesn't scale well, that's a better way of putting it. It doesn't scale well in a longer game state. It is kind of like a stopgap solution to the charge lots, right? Zealots are amassing for herO. Adepts can trade well against Zealots. They can also shade onto armies and shade past the army as well. Again, they're not the most efficient of units getting into a longer game state, but Classic doesn't plan on the game for being much longer. He doesn't plan on going into a longer late game. Hey, I said this at the beginning of the broadcast. If you remember, I was like, we're not going to see a third. No, we are seeing third bases. They're getting up. Classic, he will soon commit. As herO, I believe he has no Temple Archives. Oh, no Temple Archives, no Archon production. It's going to be purely Stalker charge lots. Zealots, they try to collapse in. Nice forces locking down those Zealots, forcing the blink. The army blinks in towards 3 Immortals though. Yeah, there's 3 Immortals behind this. herO going to be punished. He will lose everything. herO has to get out. And he does steal the Adepts, he knows. herO, he's now aware, but he's stuck with a Gateway army. He's being outscaled. Phoenix is doing what they can. But again, herO, he never worked with he never worked towards Archons, his own Immortals. I can see a world where herO tries to rush into Disruptor here. Maybe. Oh. Gets into the main. 9 to 10 probes. Okay. Okay. Nice damage. Harassing the hell out of Classic. Dives in, gets 11 probe kills. Robo still on the way. Classic still has a terrifying army, and here he comes. Remember, this third base is just for show. The probe count is actually very low. It's a very low probe count. He's pulling out of gas. Classic is all in. So the supplies look in favor of herO, but remember, a lot of the supply are in workers. Classic just has 1 push in him. Push, 1 assault. Assault's taking it in. Nice lifting on the Immortals. Very nice lift. Ooh, the Prism goes down, denies the warp in. And now we can focus on the Immortals. We can focus them down. Ooh, as Adepts, they try to break on through. We're running out of Stalkers. Immortals, it looks like they're being focused down, just barely. And every Immortal falls. They're losing all 3 Immortals, and with that Classic, he's out of steam. GG gets called. herO does hold, and herO takes game number 2. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Very impressive harass there by herO towards the end. Even though we had Classic building up into the all-in, he lost, what was it, 11 probes? He lost like 11 workers to the Phoenix and Oracle harass, which stifled his all-in, which slowed him down. Remember, time is of the essence. Like, the longer the game went on, the better it was for herO, because Classic wasn't getting ready for a longer game state. I was concerned with the lack of splash damage, lack of Archons, lack of tech for herO, but Classic, his economy was stifled and he just didn't really have as many reinforcements as he needed. Likewise, nice lift, right? Phoenix, they picked up every single Immortal. GG. GG, well played. The Immortals, they were a non-factor in that final fight. And with that, herO's up 2-0. He's up 2-0, and I'm hoping for a longer back and forth. I mean, the inner StarCraft enemy wants a game 4, wants a game 5, but alas, the pressure is on. We're getting into that final game, potentially final game of the series. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing T1, leading the series 2-0. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss himself, the South Korean Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. Let's go. Let us go. So players are setting up. Classic going for the Max, going for the low ground wall off. Oh boy. So Classic is setting up at least for a greedy build. He could try to pull a fast one on us and could try to divert and try to switch gears and go into a different kind of setup. but for the most part is showing off. He wants to be greedy, he wants a faster Nexus. And here he will confirm. And typically the response to this is a 1-base all-in, typically. So far we have 2 gateways back at home, 2 gate open out of herO. Classic, it looks like he's going to be forced into the Cyber Core. Oh, he wants an Nexus. No, he's being so greedy here. He's going gate expand? Yeah, gate expand, hyper greed out of Classic. Bam. There it is. Gate expand. This is one of the greediest builds you can go for. Very greedy build. And herO goes back down to low ground. He will confirm the faster Nexus. And he has to punish this. Again, he sees how late the Cyber Core is. You can see Classic, he does give chase. He knows that there's a high chance herO throws down a pylon. Yep, there it is. There's a pylon. Classic confirms. So here he's going for the 1-base all-in proxy pylon in the face of Classic. In the face. With the Chrono and the Zealot, this pylon's going to go down. Like herO, he's going to be rallying Stalkers across the map, but there's going to be a second pylon. So we should be seeing a second pylon here. As the first Zealot is under fire. Oh, going for the battery. Okay, bold move. But we need that second pylon. There it is. Second pylon has been thrown down. And the Stalker should arrive in time to save that second pylon. Not the first, though. First, let's pull that supply blocks. Supply blocks herO. Classic has the high ground. Oh, yeah, I mean, I should say high ground vision is provided here by the proxy. Battery's almost done for both players. Oh, the battery versus battery. Let's go. But one has the NG overcharge. Yeah, one has the overcharge. Our third Stalker has arrived. Remember here, he has more production. He has extra gateways. Takes down the Zealots. There's the overcharge. And here, trying to maintain this position. Oh, it does decide to maintain. Stalker goes down. Miscontrol out of herO. It does miscontrol. Remember, every Stalker counts this early on. So we had a third pylon. We had a third pylon. Sentry is available with the force field. Same for herO. Oh, force field. Okay, does force field. Locks him in. Does try to lock him down. Takes out one of the Stalkers. One Stalker left. No shot. Yeah, one Stalker remaining. The Immortal is almost out, but this army should be cleaned up. And now it's just the Immortal. Now just the Immortal here. And Classic has to be so careful about the potential force field. He's got to respect it. Warp gate is not done. Can it be denied? 7 seconds. 6, 5, 4. Warp gate is denied. Massive pickup. Oh, it's so close. It's denied. 1 second away. Locks down the Immortal, and with that, hero's done it. He has done it. He has broken the Immortal. There's nothing left. There's one more Immortal on the way. But too much momentum in favor of herO, and we were expecting, I was expecting it back and forth. The game 4, game 5. He depowers the Robo. GG gets called. Less than a second away, and herO will claim the series 3-0, becoming this week's Sparkling Tuna Cup champion. GG. Ay. GG. Well played. Congratulations, herO. He will claim the series. Classic being hyper greedy here, going gate expand, and herO responding with the proxy in the face, Pappy, in the face of Classic. And it was close. It was very, very close. But again, did you see those timings? herO, it was 1 second, felt less than a second before Warp Gate finished, and Warp Gate was denied. Same with that, the Immortal as well, where we were 1 second away from the Immortal spawning out, but barely was denied as well. Very close, very clutch out of herO to be able to break through that natural base, to bait the army a little bit further forward, to be able to lock him down with those force fields, and of course to break that position before Warp Gate could finish, and also before the Immortals could amass up as well. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Congratulations here to herO as he does claim the series. And again, strong showing here when it comes to our PvP. Again, often Classic and herO, they go back and forth. It's very, very common to see them go back and forth. So we do begin the week off here with herO taking down Classic in the Tuna Cup, and we could see Classic take down herO like in the Wardy TV Monday or the Monday Night Weekly or Pegastar Cup, which is tomorrow, and we often have that back and forth. But GG. For this tournament, for this event, herO claims a 3-0. does take that more dominant position. Congratulations. Again, my condolences to Classic, but again, he also did make it to the finals, right? I don't want to take away from Classic's achievements here, because what did Classic do? Well, Classic, he 2-0'd Beyond, right? When it came to, he also, when it comes to his achievements, he won the random raffle. So who's the real winner? True. Did win the random raffle. But he did 2-0 Beyond in the semi, so he had a strong showing. It's just that herO, he is like, again, on par with Classic, and PvP can be very chaotic. Again, we didn't get a single macro game. Technically, we had third bases in game 2, but there was no macro intended there. Like Classic, he was 2-base all in. Like, he was not probing. He was not probing at all. So the third base was just for show in game number 2, and again, very chaotic. Very chaotic. GG, well played. Whew. GG, well played. Just catching up in the chat. The raffle win is all that matters. True. Just catching up in the chat. Hashtag rigged. Exactly. 7 links, 3 queens, and hope. So I was just catching up with the YouTube chats. But with that, we're going to be wrapping up. With that, we're wrapping up here for the day. So I hope you all enjoyed the event. Hope you enjoyed the StarCraft. Again, for those who are maybe tuning in for the first time, this is a weekly tournament. Every single week we have the Sparkling Tuna Cup. And again, we've been running this weekly Open Cup longer than any other Open Cup out there. Longer than the Wardy TV Monday or the Monday Night Weekly or Pigstar Cups. We've been running this for many years. And of course, we'll continue to run this for more years to come. If you want to help support the longest running Open Cup in StarCraft, you can do so via Patreon. Exclamation mark. Bam. Exclamation mark Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund these tournaments on a regular weekly basis. Un momento here, as I need to set up the overlay. Bam, there we go. So as you can see, these are the tournaments that we run. We have the Sea Duckling Open, which is a bronze to diamond monthly tournament. We have the Masters Swan Open, which is a bronze to 4.7k MMR, which is around Masters 2. Sorry, bronze to Masters 2 monthly tournaments. And we have the Tuna Cup in the middle there, which is the Open Weekly. The Open Weekly, open to all players, of course. So we have this kind of like stepping stone, kind of like tournament progression system here from one into the other, of course, to help motivate players to improve and to get better at the game and to excel, of course. We do have a couple of key players that we actually casted many years ago that were diamonds that eventually became, you know, pros, that got up, that kind of built up through the ranks. One of the players that comes to mind is Baby Marine. We casted him back when he was diamond. That was many years ago. Who else comes to mind? Baby Marine. I want to say, was it Mixu? I think it was, I was going to say Fiant, but no, not Fiant. I think it was Mixu. The other that comes to mind is GG Machine. That's true. GG Machine. We casted him back many years ago when he was underage, I think. He was also diamond. True. Ruichi, of course, Starduck, herO, and a couple of others as well. It's not like every player that we cast in the diamond tournaments eventually hits GM, but every now and then we find a diamond in the rough. No pun intended, but we find a diamond in the rough who is motivated to compete, to improve, and to go further into Masters and into eventually GM and potentially even further than that. To have a handful of those players. But GG, well played. With that, we're going to be wrapping up here for the time being. Likewise, when it comes to our weekly schedule, I do need a moment here. Bam! You can see that we just wrapped up with our Tuesday evening broadcast of Tuna Cup. Now, when it comes to our schedule, we're going to be live with Pigstar Cup tomorrow, Kung Fu Cup, Wardy TV Monday, the Podcast, KSL, RSL, the Platinum StarCraft League. We do have a pretty busy schedule, but I'm a little bit tentative on this schedule. I mentioned this previously, but I do have some pet bunnies. Do have a pet bunny, and we did have an emergency over the weekend, and I did get my pet bunny Chi-Chi back today, like a couple of hours ago, just before the cast, and of course they take priority. So there is a chance that some of these, we might be shuffling this around a little bit, and one morning or one evening I might not be available. That's also why we didn't cast both semis this tournament. We only casted one semifinals because I didn't have as much time available to dedicate, of course, to the cast. Same with Pigstar Cup tomorrow. I might be a little bit late to Pigstar Cup. Might be a little bit late there. But we'll see. We shall see. Regardless, this is the current tentative schedule for the rest of the week. Pigstar Cup, Kung Fu Cup, Wardy TV Monday, Podcast, KSL, RSL, and more to come. Oh boy, again, we have a pretty busy schedule for the rest of April coming into, sorry, for the rest of March coming into April. It's very busy, and hopefully we're able to catch up, and hopefully everything goes well with our pet bunnies, hopefully able to recover. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys most likely tomorrow. Again, I should be able to cast Sparkling Tuna Cup, but I might just be late. I might be like an hour late or something. Just as a heads up. Otherwise, you should be there. Otherwise, you can also support us in other ways outside of Patreon socials. You know, we do stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, and also Soup and Kick and Facebook. So you can check out streams wherever you so please, and also check out the VODs over on YouTube. ! Socials or YouTube in the chat. VODs are uploaded on a daily basis. They're all available instantly under the live tab. So plenty of content over on YouTube. That is the place to be. If you miss a cast, if you're like, I want to watch the Water TV Monday, or I want to watch the Pondcast or KSL or RSL, then do check out the YouTube channel. It's all there. It's all there. When it comes to the Pondcast, it's a big week for news, mate. It's a big week for news. For those who maybe are not aware as to what's been happening over the past 24 hours, we have some big news regarding StarCraft and the development of StarCraft. Big news regarding NetEase and the Chinese client, the Chinese server. For those who are unaware, NetEase, they have a development team for StarCraft. They have a separate dev team, and they've been actively working on the game, which is why they got their own updates, which is why we got the herO portrait, for example, which is why the arcade became available again. For those who don't know, there has been an active dev team working on StarCraft over on the Chinese client, and they got those updates first, and eventually those updates came to the global version of the game. But there aren't even rumors, there's just fact. They released like a poll. They released a poll to the Chinese community asking what they want. And there were some very interesting kind of questions posed. And one of the big things, and I guess we'll talk more in depth about this during the podcast this week, later on Thursday. One of the things that was asked was whether the community was interested in unit rotations. Apparently, this is something that SE Boy were really interested in having unit rotations as a part of the main season. What does that mean? So in my mind, it's like, for example, think of like the co-op, I don't know, or think of like Hyperion, think of like what's not the Vulture, think of like the Diamondback units, for example. The idea of, for one season, Terran, they don't have a Cyclone, they have like the Diamondback. For one season, say we have Infested Terran return, right? Oh god. For one season, maybe we have the old Swarmhurst. For one season, maybe we switch out a couple units and we introduce like the Devourer instead of the Viper, for example. Maybe for one season we switch out the Mothership when we get the Arbiter, right? Like that's currently the question that's being asked, and the polling that's being done to the Chinese community regarding the Chinese development team on StarCraft. And depending on what they say, like there's a lot in the works in regards to that. So like that came out like less than 24 hours ago. That's crazy. So the idea of, and we'll see if they're receptive to that. Again, I know that there's some pushback from the community. I know that there are some community members that don't really like the idea of messing with 1v1 that much. And messing around too much with those units, but there are others that are like, you know what, just mix it up, Bappy, you know, like let's just shake it up, you know. So there's definitely like some conflicting kind of ideas when it comes to the direction of the game and whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, whether like that should be, whether that's how the game should be handled, or try to keep it with like minimal patches and more like Brood War-esque, right, with like minimal patches, minimal updates, and just update the ladder system. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting discussion that's being had at the moment. Blink the Stalker, Dragoon, yeah, for example, right, like switching out the Stalker and giving the Dragoon for a season. When I say season, I'm talking about the ladder season, of course, and this is specifically regarding to updating the game and implementing this into the 1v1 ladder, or I guess the ladder period, because I guess it affects like team games as well. StarCraft 3? No, not StarCraft 3. Not StarCraft 3. But apparently, like NetEase, they've been doing this with World of Warcraft. If you're into World of Warcraft, you might have heard of this. They've got like the the Titan system or something. But like apparently, the Chinese version of WoW has its own like unique seasonal system that isn't in the global version of the game. And apparently, like a bunch of people, like a bunch of international like global streamers and players like actually made Chinese accounts to play on that, to play on the Chinese WoW version. So like they're doing that in other games as well, and I believe they stated that they were going to do that for like WoW, for Warcraft, for StarCraft, Warcraft 3, I mean, for StarCraft 2, and maybe Overwatch. I think they spoke. No, sorry, Diablo. That's it. For Diablo, they're doing their own thing as well. So yeah, it's interesting. It's exciting. Exciting to hear. It's exciting to see, and we'll see kind of what comes of it. We'll see what what the polling dictates and what they decide on. That wasn't the only thing that was being asked of the community. I think they have some other things, other questions. But again, we'll discuss a little bit more during the podcast. We'll discuss it more then. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time for some more StarCraft. Until then, ciao, baby, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.